part B of the Baby Angel Geronimo editions, KhoodeelaarTV Television Channel, on Tuesday, the 14th of February, 2023. One of the most important periods in my campaigning actions has been the period 1967 to 1970. Of course, that period was preceded by 1961 until 1967. But the 61 after 67 period mainly witnessed my work that I contributed to the weekly Bangla language outlet called Jugoberi in Silot, and the English language counterpart to the Jugoberi, Eastern Herald, 1961 until 1967. Well, mainly 1961 to 1965, but there have been overlaps. Noting for anyone who is watching this for the first time that my journalistic work, my campaigning journalism work, is not a paid work. It is above paid work, if it is beyond paid work. I have not sought payment in return for my investigation, campaign work, etc., from anyone. What contribution there has been solely to do with the fraction of the cost of research, etc., but not payment to me. Secondly, none of these people, none of the publishers could pay me ever. Now, one of the owners and publishers and editors of an outlet called Young Pakistan that I contributed until 1970, so 7 years, was a man called Aziz Ahmad Bilyamini. Now, I'll have to check as to where the Bilyamini bit comes from. Now, Aziz Ahmad Bilyamini operated that publishing activity under the banner of Pakistan Press Syndicate. Pakistan Press Syndicate published the title Young Pakistan. Young Pakistan had two meanings. One was the country, young country, and also it gave platforms to people who were, let's say, young, under the age of, let's say, 30, I would say. And one of the contributors to the Young Pakistan at the same time, not anything to do with me, was a woman who is now in Canada, I think. And before that, she was in America. And before that, I think she was in the United Kingdom. She was Pakistan, called Rifat Hassan. Now, Rifat Hassan, as far as I could see her contents in the Young Pakistan, was in those days what I call now the mental slave. And I don't think she has changed her mental slavery and servitude. She is a professor of something or other, specializing allegedly in Islam and its treatment of women. She is a kind of expert on Islam and women. Rifat Hassan. So, Rifat Hassan was a mental slave, complete and utter mental slave and a moron. She's a professor now, of course. She's celebrated by all kinds of platforms. Mental slaves are given by the Crusaders. But she is a mental slave. Nothing she has done since the 1960s, nothing she has said or published has changed her role as a mental slave against ordinary Islam, ordinary Muslims. And she is in denial. Rifat Hassan, Riffat Hassan. Anyone can look her up on the Wikipedia, etc. Now, there are two Western women who became Muslims. They too were contributors to the young Pakistan. One was from Germany, Fatima Hiren, and the other from New York, Maryam Jamila. Both have now deceased. Now, both of them have died. I think Maryam Jamila died first, and Fatima Hiren died later. Now, I actually met Fatima Hiren in 1977 at the same event in London where the evil one, Altaf Gahor, a speaker. And he made the first of the two contradictory statements to me, which later caused very big noisy row between him and me. Police. This is just a location, not to say that it is connected with Buckingham Palace at all, but of course, ideologically, the Institute of Contemporary Arts is a servile one, like all the other British institutions anyway. So Fatima Hiren, I spoke to her for about an hour and more. That was the only meeting I had with her in 1977. The Fatima Hiren, based on my conversation with her, was a saintly woman, a spiritual woman, very peaceful and very clean in her thoughts. I shall be talking more about both Maryam Jamila and Fatima Hiren, and also contrasting them with the mental slave Rifat Hassan in due course. This is just to introduce Aziz Ahmad Bilyamini, who was himself an original mental slave shaitan. Bilyamini pretended to be against imperialism and against British imperialism, etc., etc. But he actually boasted in his kind of description of himself in the Young Pakistan as the editor. Aziz Ahmad Bilyamini boasted that he had been editor of the Rangoon Daily Star. Now that suggests that he was there before the British left the subcontinent, and he was there during the British occupation of Burma. Now Bilyamini may have other children, but I only met, or I had the misfortune of coming across his son, who was as dishonest, as corrupt, and as prejudiced against the people of East Pakistan as his father. Because, as I have recalled this more than once, this son of Bilyamini said he was born in Dhaka. Notice this, son of Shaitan, the Shaitan. He said that although he was born in Dhaka and obviously grew up in Dhaka, he didn't understand nor could he speak the language of Dhaka, which is Bangla. So I said to him during a conversation that I remember having with him while walking towards New Market, and we were in the middle of Nilkhet in the University of Dhaka area. I said, how can you say that you can't understand the Bangla language and you don't speak the Bangla language? And this son of Shaitan said he had too much respect for the language. How the fuck? So this Bilyamini and his son, and if he had anyone else in the family I never met, and I would not want to meet, I didn't visit him to meet his family. I only ever had to go there to deliver my handwritten copy. I still didn't have, or I yet didn't have access to a typewriter. My first portable typewriter I had access to in 1968, not in 67. So these Bilyaminis and others from then West Pakistan or the non East Pakistanis, let's say, they professed that they were part of the same country, but they showed contempt for the people, ordinary people. I'm talking not about party, contempt for the idea of Pakistan. So I'll say again to Imran Khan that the Hakiki Azadi is a sham until and unless he and anyone else who claims to be not naturally respect the people of East Pakistan, which is now Bangladesh, the same people, same framework. Bangladesh only exists because it's Muslim majority. So none of the criminals who say that there is a Bangladesh is a Bengali nationalist country, none of them can substantiate that. Bangladesh only exists because it is a Muslim majority country. And secondly, the Muslim majority Bangladesh would collapse within minutes. It would collapse within minutes if the Republic of India, as it is now, decides to de-recognize it. There is nothing. There is absolutely nothing that the Bangladesh geographically or physically can survive. This is why I said in the 1960s that the future of then East Pakistan, the autonomy, the campaign for autonomy that was open. No campaign for independence was open. Nobody knew that. But the autonomy that the maximum demand that Sheikh Mujib was making and others were making, even the autonomy would collapse, crumble. If the proponents of the autonomy refused to recognize the central core identity, which is that then East Pakistan was only East Pakistan because it was a Muslim majority part. The demography was Muslim majority. Now, Imran Khan, as I have reminded him, and I shall have to continue to remind him, has said that he draws inspiration, political inspiration, from the great leader Emma Jinnah and the great leader Muhammad Iqbal. What the great Emma Jinnah's political legacy is and political strategy was. I have not yet heard Imran Khan mention any of those in any of his speeches. I can tell you, I can tell Imran Khan that M.A. Jinnah, although he is not yet recognized, I mean, he's dead now for what? 70 plus years, nearly 80 years. He will be recognized, but he has not yet been recognized. I recognize him, but not the world at large. M.A. Jinnah possessed a unique intellectual capacity and talent that nobody else in the public arena anywhere has been shown to have possessed. And I take this narrative, tracing back all the way to the professor Aristotle, Socrates, and all the others. Because M.A. Jinnah was the most gifted political strategist who waged wars and won wars without any army. By sheer force of intellect and sheer sharpness of the intellect. It has been said that Sarojini Naidu, who was very loyal to M.A. Jinnah and very fond of him, it has been said that Sarojini Naidu fancied him. And it has been also suggested in response to that she might have, she could have. But Jinnah was too busy. And it is the plainest, simplest truth. So Jinnah created a kind of bridge without any structures. A bridgeless bridge, a structureless bridge, East and West Pakistan. And because of the stupidity of those who succeeded him, that bridge was not even understood. And it is abandoned. Let me put it another way. The multi-billion pound military kind of budget, defense budget that India is having to maintain now, post 16th of December 1971, would have been 10 times that expensive if the 16th of December 1971 had produced the opposite result. And that is the gift, that is the evidence of the gift of M.A. Jinnah. That is to say, that the Hindutva ideology would have become laughed out because of its stupidity, because it would not be capable of funding the military budget that it would be compelled to maintain if there were two wings of Pakistan. Think about that. Neither, neither the Pakistani ones, the West Pakistani ones, including, for example, the latest one, Zulfikar Bhutto, nor Yahya Khan, nor Ayub Khan, nor their counterparts in East Pakistan, understood this phenomenal achievement of having a bridge without any furniture, any structure, any iron, 1,000-mile bridge in the air. It was the notional, mental, intellectual bridge. That is why Jinnah was able to outwit Mountbatten and others, Jawaharlal Nehru, M.K. Gandhi. And he was the only one in the whole of the subcontinent during the 1930s, 40s that always had the mental, moral high ground. He couldn't be arrested because he didn't commit any arrestable offense. He was a teacher as well as a leader, as well as an opposition to the empire. Now, this is the 14th of February 2023. In less than a week, the mental slave from Bangladesh would gather together in all kinds of places and celebrate their mental servility. They would celebrate, notice this, they would celebrate Bengali language by celebrating the date in the English calendar. That is what they have been doing for 54, 55 years. Again, that shows their stupidity and Jinnah's brilliance. Because all Jinnah said as a phrase in passing that Urdu alone would be the state or national language of Pakistan. It was an opinion. It was not anything more than that. In India, there are many national languages. That doesn't kind of diminish the importance of any. And all that was necessary to update Jinnah's opinion would have been to say that let's add Bangla and other languages, and problem would have been solved. Instead, the morons now celebrate for 51 years, they've been celebrating English calendar and calling it the Bengali language victory. Fuck the morons. So we shall be talking about all of those in due course further, because there are another 6 or 7 days yet to come. And the latest on the Nicola Bully search is that they're saying there is a mystery of a missing dog walker's car keys as new details emerge. These are itsy bitsy releases. There is no real solid evidence of substantial significant investigation by the police. Our prayers for Nicola and our best wishes for her two little girls, her parents, her sister, and everyone else who is close to her and who is missing her. Let's hope and let's pray that Nicola Bully is found safe and well. Let's hope that it is possible. We don't know what has been happening, but let's pray for her. We shall be updating on all the other items, on the other topics in due course. This is now coming to an end at just over 26 minutes at 21:21 GMT on Tuesday.